If you do the crime, you got to do the time. So he should be no different from anybody else.
Exactly. So that's Apollo, his whole situation. But the Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion part 3 concluded this week, people. Now, I'm just gonna throw it out there. I am a strong, firm believer more than ever now that him and Kenya Moore did something real dirty together one good time out in that hotel in LA. For them to be going back and forth like that, well, more so her being shut down in a sense, real quiet over there on the scene. But Apollo, he was just going in for the jugular while Phaedra's right there, and it's kind of confirming. You know how you get that feeling that he's kind of confirming something, and he just don't think all the time with his brain because it's just something wrong with Apollo. Basically, there's something really wrong with that man. And he was basically saying on the show that he made Kenya, he created her storylines, and he better hope he don't get in. She better hope he don't get in jail because she won't have a storyline anymore. And if he does get put in jail, she better put money on his books and stuff like that. I was like,
and like you said, something is very, very wrong with them. But I think that's been the whole reverberating theme this entire season. Storyline. I gave you a storyline. I made you relevant. I don't know. This is my opinion, and this is my take on the whole thing between that whole Phaedra, Apollo, and Kenya threesome scandal, whatever you want to call it. This is what I truly believe. And I honestly feel bad for Kenya Moore because they go in on her so hard.
Yes.
And, I don't think she's innocent in the whole thing, but this is what I believe. Just kind of judging from everything that happened last season, I think, initially, it started off with this whole Donkey Booty DVD that Phaedra wanted Kenya to produce. This is my take on it. I think what happened was when they looked at the numbers, Kenya, I think Apollo was okay with it. I think Apollo was okay with everything that Kenya asked for. Because, we all like a dollar.
Yeah.
Phaedra, obviously, loves a dollar. So I believe that, when they went back, to discuss, the coins and everything, she went back and said, okay, well, she doesn't, and you saw it throughout last season. She went back and said, okay, no, she doesn't deserve this. Let's not give her this. So I think that they, and they started off kind of as good friends. And I think that Kenya told her, share some things with her that happened in her childhood, share some things with her that, share some things with Phaedra that happened to her growing up and even through her, adulthood. And when they had the falling out, Phaedra used it against her. All of a sudden, the things that she told you in confidence, about, her childhood and about her mom, and things like that. That's why you can't tell people all your business, and you should never get too close to people. Because then she turned it against her, and then it went from, okay, then it went to, well, she's trying to get with my husband. She made the comment that Apollo was fine. Then it went to, well, she's trying to get with my husband, and she's going for my husband and texting my husband and all these other things. Again, like I said, and that's what, some people have the issue with Phaedra because you want to carry this Bible, and the prayer cloth, around your, on your lap, but again, you do your dirt just like everybody else does.
Exactly.
And to me, I think that's what it was. None of this was an issue until they had that falling out about the DVD. And I honestly, like I said, and then because if you remember last season, before they really fell out, Apollo and Kenya met, he wanted to work with her on some other projects, but Phaedra wasn't having that.
Exactly.
So that's when it turned into this whole big, where she's going for my husband, and all this other stuff. I don't, like I said again, again, there's three sides to every story. Somebody's not telling the truth. And again, like I said, I think when they had this falling out, that's when she used all these things against her.
Exactly.
And I just don't like when people do stuff like that.
It's too funny style. I'm not all the way turned up right about it. But I will say though, the highlight of the whole thing, there was some more stuff too that happened. But let's talk about them real quick before we get to the real highlight of the situation. Just as a reminder to people, we were just talking about this too. So it is going to be a 2-part night, people, because we got a lot more to talk about, and we don't even have a lot of time on this part 1. So we're going to definitely do a part 2 tonight, because Saturday we're just going to turn up from all the mothers out there. So y'all turn up. But anyways, so with the whole situation with the reunion, Candy went off on Nene and her hairline and her flowy dress, basically saying, because Nene said that she don't want to be fighting all on TV and be out down in the dirt in the gutter like how Mama Joy.
Like Mama Joy.
And Candy, even and Nene the situation too. You don't talk about Candy's mama. You don't talk about her food. You don't talk about Todd's midget ass. You just don't talk about those 3 things in that order. And she basically went for the juggler again, all on the blog on Bravo TV. And Candy felt some kind of way. And Candy, this is the first time in all the reunions back when Candy first popped on the scene on the Housewives of Atlanta, when she had that red rooster haircut, and she finally stood up to Nene and her hairline all these seasons later. So I guess it's better late than never, but she must have been turned up real decently, because she really went in on Nene for that situation, and it kind of shut Nene down, I will say. So it kind of put Nene in her place a little bit, but Nene was still on the defense. But there wasn't really much she can really say after that. So it was very interesting reunion right there. And then the other part too was I didn't realize how much I missed Portia from the show too, but we're gonna talk about Portia in a little bit too and her stuff. But the husbands came out, they did the whole. They was on for the last 5 minutes of the show. Usually they got a good 15 minutes to do their thing on the show. And
hell, Peter was turned up all season long, so I guess we need no more husbands. So we.
I know. So Greg and his activator juice hair, and then you got Patricia and her decent peach colored suit, eating her peach that she grew in the backyard. She was real turned up, and she said, "Here's my peach." Curry Billy Goat. So we'll see who the next Housewife of Atlanta is between him and Mama Joyce next season. Cause it look like I'm pretty sure no one's gonna get kicked off. We was kind of hoping that someone would get kicked off the scene because of the whole situation, but apparently and allegedly that's not going to happen anymore. So we're just gonna see what happens next season if they get any rejects from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta on Housewives of Atlanta to be some real decent women next time around.
It will make it interesting season if they bring Sheree back.
Someone else said that too. Someone said they want to see Sheree back. Now, I was going to say, because judging from when Sheree and Kim was on Watch What Happened Live a few weeks ago, I was like, something about She by Sheree just seems too boring now. But her real true match was Nene. When her and Nene was going back and forth and everything like that, when they showed that clip from back in the day when Nene walked away from the fight, when Sheree called her out or her car getting repossessed in the parking lot of Home Depot and her teeth were fake as dog doo-doo, she was really, she was really going for her. So I would like to see She by Sheree come back. I would like to see her and her clothing line make a return. And did y'all know, I didn't know this, but She by Sheree is on some bootleg website on the internet that you can buy her clothes for it's on some little collection online, but it's not in stores, but it's a few Dollar Tree jewelry you can piece together with some super glue, and then it's some iron-on shirts or whatever, but it's online. It's on some.
You got some iron? Did you say some iron-on shirts?
Yeah, I did.
You know what? I know Sheree was there. I'm not going to allow you to do that.
So that's on She by Sheree, and we should see she come on that season. But the real kicker was when Phaedra gave
the read of the century.
Yes. Now this is something we've been waiting for a long time, because even though Phaedra said her piece in the confessionals and she really didn't say it in front of Kenya, but she just gave Kenya's warnings here and there on the show. She really went in for the kill, and people, here is the audio clip to prove it.
Has nothing else going on. And while she's sitting around running around talking about my husband and the father of my children, and she spends her weekends peddling through sperm banks, looking through catalogs to try to find a donor, honey, you don't know if your baby daddy will be an axe murderer or a child molester, because what you will know is that he needed $10 to get him a medium-sized pizza, so he ejaculated in a cup so you could have a kid. Now check that.
All right, people, so there's the read of the century, people. Now, it just was so good that I just got to repeat and translate the whole situation once again. Now, Phaedra told Kenya in the real stern voice, while she's sitting around talking about my husband, she spends her weekends peddling through sperm banks to try and find a donor. Honey, you don't know if your baby daddy going to be an axe murderer or a child molester, but what you will know is that he needed $10 to get him a medium-sized pizza, so he ejaculated in a cup so you can have a child. Now check that. And when she said that, she was so serious too, and then the swoosh sound effect of her dress swooshing over to the side. Now that was a twirl in the seat, and I was like, I kind of felt that, you know, Kenya had no choice but to just sit there in silence. It was like,
what could you say?
Exactly, like you just.
How could you possibly respond to that?
Exactly. I was like, wow. So that was like the highlight of this whole situation. I was like, this third part was starting to kind of get boring. So I was like, hopefully something picks up, because I was kind of getting tired of Apollo and Kenya going back and forth. Portia wasn't on the scene. So it's like, what else could we possibly hear of this whole situation except the same things they talk about over and over about Apollo texting Kenya, and Kenya wanting Apollo, and Apollo saying that they did meet in LA, whatever, and stuff like that. So it's kind of like, what else could y'all possibly say? But when Phaedra, her and her church fan, and her prayer shawl, I guess she had a conversation with the Lord right before she had to say that, because I guess she had to get some prayer oil real quick and, you know, let it be blessed, bestowed upon her to let these words flow from her mouth, because she really went in for the kill. Now that was a killer move right there. So clap bravo to you, Phaedra, for finally standing up to the Amazon Kenya. And so that was the Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion. So it is coming back for a season. What season were they on? Was it season 5 or 6?
Can't remember now.
Exactly, but just know they're coming back.
I'm looking forward to the next season.
Yeah, so that's going to be coming. This was a long season too, because this went from November to May. So this was a.
Yeah, hopefully they don't do that next season now.
I have a feeling for some reason they are, because being as the highest rated Housewives franchise, I'm pretty sure they will have a long ass another season. But it does keep it interesting, though, because, you know, there's shows that come on for like 3 months, then it's gone already. So, I mean, I think it's, you know, it keeps with the trend and everything like that. They're getting the money regardless. And so, you know, hey, it is what it is. So, that was, this is part 1 of the show, people. So, we're going to get ready for part 2 of the show, where we're going to be talking about news on Sherri Shepherd that I was surprised to even hear about. The Wu-Tang member that we talked about who cut his penis off, we're going to actually go into why he cut his penis off. He actually is speaking out for the first time in all that pain, and with nothing right there. Shout out to all the dildos that he's going to be holding to his system. And then also, we're going to talk about some other stuff too, like, what else were we? Oh, Willow Smith.
Jet Magazine is
done
and over with as far as the printed issues.
Mm-hmm.
And then Willow Smith in the bed with some grown-ass man.
Exactly. And then the TV rundown too, people. We got some other TV rundown. Yeah. So we got a lot for you all. So y'all keep it here to FNL Radio Part 2 in 3 minutes, people. So don't go away. We'll see y'all in 3 minutes.